Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hi, nice to meet you. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always stopping by. And before we get into the video, kindly like, subscribe if you haven't, comment and share the video. So in today's video, I'm going to do a little bit of baking. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you find it somehow helpful if you are interested in baking. So without much rambling, without much talking, let's get into the video. So as you can see here, I'm trying to sieve the flour, and I'm using like a container to measure because I don't have a weighing scale. So I'm using a container. So you can just use a container to measure everything, but just make sure you use the same container. As you can see, I'm using that one to measure, and then I make sure that I sieve the flour through like a big siever. Yeah. So basically the ratios that I'm using like to measure, to know the exact measurements to use, is a ratio of 1:1:2. In that 1:1 is like butter and sugar should be the same, and in this case I'm not using like butter, but I'm using margarine or Blue Band if you like. So Blue Band and the sugar are going to be like the same, so I just use the container that I'm using is of 250 grams. So it'll be 250 grams of sugar, 250 grams of butter, and then the ratio of 2 is the flour, which will be the double. So the flour was double, which was 500 grams, but I made sure to use like the same container to measure everything else. And the margarine, I didn't melt it because I thought that melting it maybe would get like more messy. So yeah, I just used them. I used a spoon to scoop them from the original container. And as you can see here, these are the measurements that I've made, and now I'm mixing in the butter or the margarine with the sugar. So in the sugar you can use like caster sugar, which is for baking, but in this case I'm using just the normal sugar. But it didn't give me any troubles, like hard time, so it was just easier to mix. And I'm going in right now with a wooden stick, yeah, to mix everything well, because you know like the sugar is a bit rough and the Blue Band, the margarine, is in solid form. But it was easier to mix them because the margarine is softer. But butter, well, it's a bit hard, so maybe you might need to melt it a little bit. So as you can see, after mixing in with the wooden stick, I'm using a whisk now to go in. And then of course my eggs. And the eggs I'm using are, you can use 3 to 4. So like in this case, I have 4 eggs. And I'm not like going to add them all at once, just one at a time, and then I mix it, and then I go with another until I'm done with all the eggs, as you can see. Yeah. Oh, that extra egg, I wasn't sure if I was gonna need it because you can use 3 eggs, but I ended up using it later on because the flour, the butter mixed with the mixture was a little dry. It wasn't flowing the way I wanted it, so I had to use the last egg later. And then there I'm adding my vanilla essence and the orange peel essence, I think. Yeah, they're sort of the same thing, just for the flavor. You can opt to use just one of them, but I decided to use both. And then after that, I'm going in with my flour, but I'm not mixing it all at once, just one at a time, as you can see in the video. Then I added the remaining bits of the flour, and as you can see, as I was adding, I just started noticing that it was getting to be like, as you can see, it wasn't flowing well. That's why, like I mentioned, I added the extra egg, though I didn't show it in the video, but I added that one extra egg so that it would flow a little bit, it would be more better, if that makes sense. Yeah, as you can see, the flow is a little bit better now. And then here I am pouring it in a baking tin that is lined with the baking paper to avoid getting the batter mixing, sticking all over the baking tin when I remove it after I've finished baking. And then now it's finally time to put the batter or the mixture, if you like, into the oven. And about the temperature, the settings for the oven, like that ready, and then I had to return it back into the oven for some more minutes.